You know, we do it dozens, maybe hundreds of times a day. We type a website into our browser, we hit enter, and poof, the right page just appears. It feels like magic, right? But it's not. So how does it really work? Let's break it down.
Seriously, how does it happen? How can your browser possibly pinpoint one specific website in a sea of billions? It's kind of like trying to find one person in a massive city, but you don't have a map or an address book. How would you even start? And this right here is the whole problem. See, we think in words. We remember names like yahoo.com because, well, they're easy. But computers, they couldn't care less about names. They speak in numbers. Every single website lives at a specific numerical address called an IP address. So the real trick is translating what we type into what the computer actually needs. And that's where this thing called the domain name system, or DNS, comes in. Honestly, the best way to think about it is as the internet's phone book. Its entire job, its whole reason for being, is to look up the names we type and find the right phone number, the IP address that the computers need to connect. Just imagine for a second if you had to memorize a long string of numbers for every single website you visit. It'd be impossible. That's exactly what the internet would be like without DNS. At its heart, it's the essential translator that lets us humans and the machines we use actually speak the same language. So, before we get into how that translation happens, we first need to understand the language it's translating. Let's take a quick look and break down the anatomy of those web addresses we type all the time. You know, every web address is basically a set of directions, but you read it from right to left. That .com part, that's the top-level domain. Think of it as the biggest neighborhood, like a whole country. Then example is the specific street address inside that neighborhood. And blog, that's like the apartment number, pointing to a very specific part of that building. Each piece helps narrow down the search. Okay, so you've got your address, you type it in, you hit enter. What happens in that split second is an incredibly fast journey that zips across the entire internet. So let's follow that single request and see where it goes. Let's trace this lightning-fast trip. Step 1, you make the request. Simple enough. Your browser immediately asks a local DNS resolver, hey, got the number for this? After a quick check of its memory, that resolver, if it doesn't know, goes up the chain to a root server for directions. The root server says, I don't have it, but go ask the .com guy. So it goes to the TLD server, who manages all the .com addresses. That server says, oh, you need Google's number? Here, go ask their official server. Finally, that authoritative server has the answer, sends the IP address all the way back, and boom, your browser makes the connection. So here's the whole path laid out for you. It's really just a simple, elegant process of asking for directions. You move from the most general guide, the root server, all the way down to the most specific one. And the most incredible part? This entire round trip happens in a fraction of a second. It's amazing. We just watched that journey unfold, so now let's properly meet the key players. Think of these as the translators and tour guides that make this whole trip across the web possible in the first place. Each one of these has a very specific job. The resolver, that's like your local librarian who starts the search for you. The root server is the master catalog for the entire library. It knows where all the different sections are. The TLD server, that's the person in charge of one specific section, like all the .org books. And finally, the authoritative server, that's the book itself. It holds the exact information you were looking for all along. It's a beautifully efficient system. So what's actually in that final book? It's filled with different types of records. The most common one you'll find is the A record. This is your classic phone book entry. It maps a name, like google.com, directly to its numerical IP address. Name, meet number. That's it. This is what your browser uses to find websites. But you know, the phone book has different sections for different things. An MX record, which stands for Mail Exchanger, makes sure your emails actually land in the right inbox. It tells the internet, hey, any mail for example.com, don't send it to their website server, send it over here to this completely different server that handles mail. Without it, your emails would literally get lost. So we've seen how it all works, but let's zoom out for a second. Why is this invisible system so absolutely essential to the internet as we know it? What's the big deal? Well, it really all boils down to a few critical things. First, and most obviously, DNS makes the internet usable. And it's not just for browsing. It powers stuff like email, too. Second, it makes the internet fast. That caching we talked about, it's like your browser keeping a private speed dial list. The first visit might take a millisecond, but every visit after that is basically instant. And finally, it makes the internet reliable. For any online business, DNS is their digital storefront sign. If that sign is gone, the store is invisible, even if all the lights are on inside. And that leads us to this really powerful, simple truth. You can have the best website, the fastest servers in the world, but if the phone book that points to it is gone, nobody can find you. It's like your business is open, but all the roads leading to it have suddenly vanished. Ultimately, DNS is the quiet, unsung hero of the internet. It's this fundamental navigation system just working tirelessly in the background, translating our human thoughts into the digital language that connects all of us to the entire world. It's a system that's so good at its job that most of us never even notice it's there. Which kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible, invisible systems are quietly powering the world around you every single day?